What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Mr. Cincinnati, and as always, I am joined by the podcast dad himself. Chips, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, How are you?
Happy Thursday to you, and I'm going to drink a happy Thursday as we enjoy our episode tonight. Happen to find I guess, is it still technically a seltzer if it doesn't have the bubbles in it?
No.
Okay, well.
I think it's a flat water.
Okay, well, yeah. No, I've got my happy Thursday alcoholic flat water. I'm ready to go here and enjoy a wonderful evening with you. Kyle, fuck off. Love you. Anyway,
come on. Reds have been out of it for years at this point.
I don't. But okay, no. The problem.
And so are the Cardinals, Kyle. The Cardinals suck too.
The problem I have with that is I'm going to be a guest on OTM tonight, 8/7 Central, and he's like, that's the first comment that he makes on our show. Like I'm not even through asking how you're doing. I'm not even through our banter yet, and this is the thanks we get. Got it.
Just say go Phillies, and it'll be fine.
Why would I do that? You can do that all you want. I'm not going to do that.
Again, the Phillies are the best team in baseball. My team's 1-0 in football. It's a great day. It's a great day.
Now he's directing our show from the comments, and that's just that.
Who does this guy think he is? Is this Hakeem Young? Hakeem, did you hack Kyle's?
No, I mean Kyle seems like he'd take a bribe from Hakeem. Hakeem seems like the guy that would bribe somebody to chirp at our comments. Yeah,
that's fair. He would.
That's okay. I think his Coastal Chaos Championship keeps him warm at night. Oh wait,
it doesn't because he didn't get one.
Yeah, but actually, speaking of Coastal Empire Wrestling, Legends of the Low Country will be premiering tonight, streaming on YouTube 7 p.m. to see all of the action. Probably be about another week or so before we get After the Empire out, but make sure that you are subscribed to Coastal Empire Wrestling, and make sure you subscribe to us. Follow us at Junkies Pod for all things wrestling, Junkies Podcast. We are on the road to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. We need your help to get there. We are at 347 as of right now, 6:30 p.m. So thank you to everybody that has subscribed within the last couple of days. Again, Troops, hit them with that magic number.
I was getting it ready. It's just one. You just got to tell one person if you like what we're doing here. Just tell one person, see if they like it, and then they'll tell one person, and then they'll tell one person, and so on and so forth, and then we'll get to 1,000, and then we'll get to 5,000, we'll get to 10,000, and then we'll get to 50,000, and then we'll get to 1 million.
Yeah. I like the sound of that. And even though the head of the network has been talking all kinds of shit in the comments and we haven't even been live 3 minutes and 18 seconds, make sure that you're following Main Event Wrestling Network for all things fantastic professional wrestling content, live podcasts, fan art, blogs, memes, you name it. We've got it. Wonderful group of people that we work with, even if Kyle is chapping my ass tonight, but that's okay. Main Event _net across all social media platforms. And make sure that you're supporting our merch store as well. We've got t-shirts, tanks, hoodies, beanies, not hats. We're going to save that for our next plug here, as well as these nifty little coffee mugs. Make sure that you get yours today. This is how we are able to reinvest in the world of professional wrestling. So all the great shows that you hear us sponsoring, this is a lot of how we are able to do that. And also make sure that you're supporting our friends at Gorilla Press Apparel. GorillaPressApparel.BigCartel.com. Use promo code WJP2024 for 25% off site-wide. There's some exciting new developments coming soon as far as the merch line, so you don't want to miss out. What can I say? I mean, there's not enough good things. I mean, if you are a wrestler, referee, promoter, you need merch for your tables, DM Will at Gorilla Press APP on X. They are accepting commissions. Gary J's Unsigned and Don't Care t-shirt with Anakin Murphy and Aaron Williams. Pre-sales were absolutely insane for it. So, again, fantastic work and great company, and they're local, love wrestling. So, Ohio against the world. Gotta love it.
OH.
IO.
That hurt coming out. Go Bears.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Whatever. But now it's time to talk about some upcoming events. On September 20th, Aaron Wade presents Dojo Rising at the TWE Arena. Action-packed event promises an unforgettable night of pro wrestling as some of the toughest competitors rise to the occasion. $15 tickets, and easily, and this is, podcast dad will confirm, this is one of probably the best concession stands that we've probably ever been to for an indie show is at the TWE Arena.
It was the best concession stand I've ever been to. I'm not gonna lie, ever. I mean, We got monsters. I had a pretty good burger. Like it was,
I had some delicious nachos. I mean, they have everything, and I mean, even the walking tacos, which Tully is absolutely a fan of. He says hi, by the way.
I don't understand your obsession with walking tacos. I don't
Not
understand.
my business, Tully's.
No, it's yours too, because you're the same way. You and Tully are kind of like that together. You love walking tacos, and I don't want to come
They're
on here
efficient
and
and
say
delicious. What's
I
the
don't want to come on here and say they're mid.
Kyle says that they're great, and to
Oh, now
answer
you
his
agree with
other
Kyle. Okay.
now to answer his other question, it's an FTR shirt. And they do not have 16-ounce twisted teas, which are brewed also in Cincinnati. So the hits just keep coming in. I'm loving this energy. But okay, we got a few more events to plug before we get into our conversation with our guests tonight. We are proud to sponsor Marcus Mathers All I Want 3, Thursday, September 26th, the H2O Wrestling Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Again, Marcus Mathers, killing the game these days. I mean, future pro wrestling is in good hands with a guy like Marcus Mathers. You guys do not want to miss this show, streaming live on IWTV. And coming up tomorrow night, we have got our friends at Action Wrestling putting on the Sharpsburg Showdown. This is this Friday, East Coweta High School in Sharpsburg, Georgia. Benefits the ECHS wrestling and basketball programs, has some of the hottest independent wrestling talent. Manders taking on Bobby Flacco for the Action World Championship.
Good luck, Bobby.
You don't need it. Ayo.
Yeah. Manders hits hard, so good luck.
Yeah. And before we introduce our guest tonight, once again, the PWI 500 is out. Congratulations. We want to extend to a handful of people that have been on our show this year that made the list. Landon Hale, once again, I told you so. Rico Gonzalez, Cody Manhorn, Jamison Shook, Anakin Murphy, Alex Kane, Mike Skyros, Aaron Rourke, Logan Knight, TJ Sykes, Luke Curtis, Gary J. I'm sure that there's others that I'm missing. I apologize if we are. But again, congratulations to everybody that made this list this year. Check it out. I mean, this got me to, I mean, I got a $10 subscription for a year to PWI as a result of this. So can't beat it.
No, you cannot. And Cody Manhorn, shout out.
No, I said that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Activist. Yeah. I'm sorry, your shirt is a little distracting. I won't lie.
I've worn this shirt how many times on this show?
I don't know, but now I'm noticing it since Kyle pointed it out.
Well, it's FTR and hot dogs, whatever.
It's a little distracting.
When's the PWI 500 podcast coming out? That's the real question.
Tuesday. Tune in. Don't we have somebody special on Tuesday?
We do, actually. I'm glad that you mentioned that. That is a good question. This upcoming Tuesday, we will actually have the PWI editor-in-chief, Kevin McElvaney, joining us to talk about the preparation of this year's list. So make sure that you tune in Tuesday night, 6:30 Eastern. Kyle says we're number 2. Again, fuck off.
Who the fuck is number 1? Hold on.
Who the fuck do you think? Who do you think they're going to put at number 1 if he's saying the list there?
Oh, you mean the one that you're going to be on tonight? Looks like he's not going to be on tonight for number 2.
Nah, I'm just gonna remind them while I'm on there. No, we've talked enough. Now it's time to talk a little bit of wrestling here. Tonight, we have a very special guest hailing from St. Louis, Missouri, a rising star who's been making waves across the Midwest wrestling scene. Quite frankly, we saw former guest Gary J tweet about him earlier this week, and we said, yeah, we absolutely have to get him on the show. He's competed in promotions like St. Louis Anarchy, Fountain City Pro Wrestling. Just this past weekend, he made his debut at Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling and has some huge matches lined up this month, including a big one against friend of the show, Jaden Newman, at St. Louis Anarchy's Do It for the Brand on September 27th. Please give it up for the bearded gentleman himself, Tommy Davis. Tommy, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. Number 2, but it's fine.
Yeah, apparently we're not good enough for some people, but we appreciate that you decided to come on here tonight. That says that we're fucking awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for the invite and everything. It's really, really excited to be here.
Love to hear it. And definitely have a lot to cover, but we're gonna take it back for a second here when we, here at the Wrestling Junkies, when we talk about pro wrestling, in its purest form, superheroes, supervillains that clash. The one thing that they do have in common, though, are origin stories. So, Tommy, if you could, just tell us about some of your earliest memories of pro wrestling.
I mean, I don't know where I began. I started in wrestling in 2017. I was 15 years old, and there was a small little place in the town I live in, and kind of went on for there. I didn't really take it too seriously. I was still in high school, and just really I was young and dumb, so I didn't really think too much about it. And then when 2020 came around with the whole pandemic, when shows were starting to come back a little bit, where they're mainly outside shows, I started doing Pro Wrestling Epic, which is in Alton, Illinois, but they travel a little bit around Illinois. Um, and then it kind of just went off from there. Uh, then I started going to Dynamo Pro Dojo, that's located in St. Louis, Missouri, and started doing some time there. Which shout out to them because I give them everything for what I have today. Along with Gary, Ricky Cruz, Sadie Blaze. Like those are the three people that I think no matter what for what I have today. And started going to St. Louis Anarchy for ring setup. And then just next thing you know, my first match was against Thomas Shire when he returned after injury. And I guess the rest is history now because like so much has happened between me doing that wrestling Thomas Shire to now. Like there's so much in between stuff. It's just I there's so much that it can't fit in all in one podcast, I feel like.
Staying busy. Love it. Let's talk about the Midwest wrestling scene. I don't think it gets talked about enough, but you're involved with, St. Louis Anarchy, as you said, Fountain City Pro Wrestling. How has the Midwest scene kind of shaped your career so far?
Like, there's not very much I haven't wrestled very much outside of the Midwest yet. But I think everything that I have, I always think of like St. Louis, mainly because that's where I came from. But then I started going to Tennessee. Then I started going to, I went to Ohio, and I've been up to Chicago a few times. I wrestled in Wisconsin. So like it's starting to like, I'm slowly but surely trying to cover all the edges around Midwest. And there's just so much opportunity in the Midwest for independent wrestling. And I like what you said. It doesn't get talked about very much. It's always like talked about like East Coast or whatever, and Cali and everything up north, or everything down in the South. I just feel like that the Midwest doesn't get as much credit as it deserves, where it's produced a lot of amazing wrestlers such as Gary and so many more. Uh, but everything that I have right now is what I've done in the Midwest. The reason why I'm doing this podcast is because stuff that I've done in the Midwest. So like the Midwest is something that I feel like people should really, really think about more, at least with professional wrestling.
Yeah. And let's talk about Gary J for a second here. Again, he was a guest on our show a couple of weeks ago, and again, we reached out to you because he had nothing but high praise for the weekend that you guys spent together, and we talked a little bit about this before we went live here. But just for our audience, just tell us about the weekend that you had. You made your debut at I believe it's Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling. So yeah, just tell us about this loop, the time you spent in the car with Gary, and kind of for somebody that has run the independent scene for as long as he has, what's it like to kind of sit under that learning tree as you're spending so much time traveling together?
So it's not the first time I traveled with Gary, but I would say this is probably one of the longer ones that we spent on a trip. Friday, I made my debut at Fountain City, and we drove from St. Louis to Kansas, which is about roughly a 4-hour drive, and then also a 4-hour drive back. And we stayed at Gary's for about maybe not even 2 hours probably, because we had to leave at 5:30 a.m. in the morning to go to Michigan for Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling, which is about almost 9-hour drive. And being in a car with Gary, it's super fun, super laid back, and like you could talk about anything and everything. He's very open if you ask him any questions about wrestling or life or anything like that. Like Gary will have advice for you if you need it, and also or just an ear to talk to. like out of like I've rode with a few people before, but I Gary's like on the top of the list of people that like, yeah, if I can create my own custom car load, Gary would be part of it. And he's super funny, like, and it's like a different person when you're in a car with Gary J than when you are in the ring with him, because I've wrestled him once for 01's Podcade benefit show a few months ago, and he everything lives up to the hype when you wrestle him. Like the aura of when the music of his music hits, it's something to sit in realization of like, all right, well, this is about to happen. And then when he walks through the curtain, does the whole boom, and it's just, and then of course you're staring across the ring from him, and it's like, well, this ain't the Gary I just knew in the car. And he's an incredible wrestler, an incredible person. And after this weekend, I felt like after this, because I drove majority of the trip by my own willing, not because I had to or anything like that. It's just by my own will. I really, because I felt like I have so much to give to wrestling. Wrestling is about really what you can get and not expect anything from wrestling, because wrestling owes nothing to you.
Mhm.
And so the most I can give is driving a few wrestlers to help get to a show, or just get to a show in general. That's by all means, if I can help out, I can. I don't expect a praise for it. I really don't want it. Or anything like that. It's part of the wrestling. It's part of learning, about being a pro wrestler, because that's the majority of being a pro wrestler is just traveling, whether it's being a car or a plane. It's just most of it's in a car when you first start out. And
no, we've been in the car a lot together. It's been fun. So you have a big match coming up at St. Louis Anarchy's Do It for the Brand against a friend of the show, Jaden Newman. How are you prepping for that match?
I've been wanting to wrestle Jaden for a while, ever since I first went to TWE with Anakin Murphy and a few other people. And like when I first saw it, I was like, well, I'm wrestling basically Chattanooga's favorite son, like
Yeah.
it's the aura that that Jaden has is when you're in Tennessee and in Chattanooga in the TWE arena is wild. It's like knocking on the front door of somebody's house and then like expecting to be let in, but it's more of like you got to earn it. And I think with me wrestling Jaden, I have thoughts of like, if I can beat him, or if I even take him to the limit, like that's I won in that aspect, even if he beats me, and maybe show that like, I can, if I can go one-on-one with Chattanooga's best, then maybe I can get back, have a mainstay or whatever in Tennessee, because then I have that accolade. And I've been going to the gym for it. I've been just watching his matches and trying to figure out like what makes him him. And you see things from a few years ago, where before he joined the Covenant of the Goat, and trying to like just kind of pick apart about his wrestling, because that's like, if I'd never wrestled somebody before, I always like look into what makes them, and more than just what moves they do, just but how they move, how they present themselves. Because if the person that you're going against is somebody that presents themselves in like a higher standard, then I feel like those are the ones that you need to look out for more, is because they're more confident in themselves and their abilities than somebody that seems scared or nervous when they go out. So like with Jaden, it's like you know that you're about to have a wrestling match when you see Jaden wrestle. So I'm more than excited and ready for it.
Yeah, and you've spent some time in TWE as well. You competed at TWE Roulette, I believe it was a Falls Count Anywhere match, and it got a lot of high praise on social media. So you know what, especially because we've spent some time in that arena as well. I mean, that's a match that requires a lot of creativity, adaptability. How do you prepare for a match like that where anything can happen? And do you think there's anything of that you can use and take into your match with Jaden going to St. Louis Anarchy this month?
Well, the thing with that Falls Count Anywhere match, it was so different from any kind because it was Falls Count anywhere but in the ring. So you'll see in the match, when you watch the match back, you see both me and Sean try to pin each other in the ring, and then the ref's just like, well, it's anywhere but in the ring. So it's like you got to think about it, or you'll forget the rule a little bit because it's something that you never heard of. And with that match, because of roulette, what the rules are, you don't know who you're wrestling until your music hits. And that was my first time wrestling Sean Campbell. Very good wrestler. I felt like with that match was like, I felt the moment in that match that made like kind of that pop a little bit was that not only was that pile driver on the ramp for that beat me, but was that fact that like I caved in his chest with a chop. And because like I feel like the video doesn't do it justice, but like when I was in there and I delivered that one chop when we're on the outside trying to pin each other on the wall, it just, you knew like that's what hooked them. It was like, oh wow. And nope, I've been down there a few times before, but like never something that like they posted on social media about. And when that happened, I was like, all right, this is something that I can do more. And thinking about what I can use from that and Jaden is some of the stuff is just like what I can use in the ring, because we were still able to wrestle in the ring, just can't pin one another. But in this case, we can only place to beat Jaden is in the ring.
Yep.
And there's more factors in that than what me and Sean had. And because there's rope breaks and all that now, and there's only a little bit amount of time how we have outside the ring, but literally anything could happen. And I think with something that I can use to my arsenal is the aspect of like knowing that I know Jaden and the aspect of his wrestling abilities, and something that probably Jaden doesn't know much about me. And I feel like right now that is my best friend. It's like nobody knows too much about me. They're starting to see a little bit with whatever social media has. But to me, I feel like that's in my advantage, because then people don't know what I'm capable of, don't know how I wrestle, but I can sit there and watch hours and hours of people's matches that I see online that people always post, and use that to beat somebody like Jaden. And I feel like from that match with Sean, it's really an eye opener of like, all right, well, I gotta think more of how to go about wrestling somebody new, especially somebody like Jaden.
Yeah. What do you think the keys are to good film study if you're a wrestler?
It's honestly, film study is your best friend. It can be your bestest friend, because even if it's in a videotape, or whether it's on a camera on digital, whether it's on like TV on channels or whatever, like watching somebody wrestle for a match that you never wrestled a person before is such fulfilling. And it feels like you have that one step advantage. It's like because Jaden does this move where it's a kitchen sink leads into a power slam. And that move right there, I'm like, all right, anytime I'm coming off the ropes, I'm watching for that. The moment I see that knee goes up, I'm hanging on to the ropes. Because like that's one of his moves. Like I've never seen anybody else do it besides him. And to me, and I don't know if Jaden has watched any of my matches. He probably has, knowing that we're going to be wrestling here soon. And if he hasn't, then that's a disadvantage on him. But it's all the advantage for me, because for the past like week or so, or since that it's been announced, I've been watching nonstop Jade Newman matches, whether it be on YouTube or IWTV. I've been strictly looking into it. I'd be looking at his matches even before when he came back from a broken jaw, like something just in case if he pulls something new again or older that he hasn't used in a while. It's
Sure.
I feel like any wrestler ever should, if they're going into a match, always prepare by watching tapes, because that's watching tapes is your best friend. And also being able to, oh, like, I want to try that move or whatever. That might be different. Or just, it's more than just watching for moves or just studying people, but it gives you ideas of like, who can you be? And that's what really influenced me to get to who I am today. But also it's still used to when I use matches, such as wrestling for Jaden.
Yeah. It's important. And best of luck with that match. But now we have a really, really hard question for you. And
Okay.
Every guest gets asked this question. Gary was asked this question. When you think Mr. WrestleMania, is it Shawn Michaels or The Undertaker?
It's hard because Taker has been there for a very long time, and the aspect of like he became known for being there for WrestleMania. Like when WrestleMania season around, it was known for Undertaker being there to defend the streak. And then Shawn Michaels though has pulled banger after banger any WrestleMania match he's been in. And like if I had to pick, I would pick Taker in the aspect of the longevity and the work that he constantly put in. But I will not discredit Shawn because of like a period where he was injured or didn't have a match at WrestleMania or whatever. But if I had to pick between the two, I would pick Taker.
There's another one.
Right.
I feel like DJ Khaled.
Dude, you're losing the tally on this. I'm pretty confident.
It's a lot closer than you think though. It's a lot closer than you think.
I feel like we, especially before Bad Blood, we definitely need to like go back and tally all of these up just to see kind of where we stand with it, because I think there's a larger conversation to be had about this WrestleMania rivalry. But nevertheless, Tommy, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Before we let you go, where can everybody find you on social media? What do you have coming up? The floor is yours.
All right, so we'll start with social medias. You can find me on Instagram at Davis_Tommy_Davis. You can find me on Twitter at Tommy Davis Gent. You can also find me on Facebook as just regular Tommy Davis. For the upcoming shows, I have for this Saturday as Destination 6 in Macomb, Illinois. And next week for Friday, I have Dynamo Pro Wrestling. On the 21st, which is also my birthday, I have House of Heat Pro Wrestling. For September 27th for Anarchy, Do It for the Brand. And then I have possibly TWE on the 28th. So September is probably the most busiest month, and probably October as well. So
staying busy,
love
it.
Love it. Happy early birthday. Best of luck this month and next month. And yeah, don't be a stranger. Hope I have you back on soon.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yes, of course. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you again to Tommy Davis for joining us. And thank you to everybody that is watching tonight. Before we talk a little bit more AEW and take this episode home, again, make sure you're following at Junkies Pod on X for all things Wrestling Junkies Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Choops, what's that magic number?
I'm going to tell you again, it's 1, because then you tell 1, and then we get to 1,000, and then after that we get to 5,000, then after that we get to 50,000, then we get to 1 million.
There are 53 people watching the stream right now. If everybody went over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, that puts us, at just about, a little over 400, which just puts us at about, almost halfway to our goal of 1,000 subs by the end of the year. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but if there's one thing the Wrestling Junkies like, it's a challenge. I think that's
grinding. We like grinding. Hey, then tell somebody. How about that? Kyle?
I just like what? Who pissed in your
Why is he
Wheaties today?
yelling?
Like
Why are you
usually,
yelling
usually
today?
he's a lot. He's a
I
lot
know.
more chipper. Like he's just
Get over it.
He's
It's
usually
it's
jovial.
almost
Like
been a week since the Eagles kicked the shit out of the Packers. Get over it.
okay, yeah, that's not helping either. Okay,
I don't care.
but also you can check me out on OTM tonight, 8/7 Central.
I gotta be a dad.
And Wrestling Spotlight tonight. Download the True TV Plus app. That episode will be
be on that
streaming
one.
this weekend. What's that?
I will be on that one, but OTM, I apologize. I'm on dad duty tonight.
And I think you said something incorrect, and he, I don't know. He put it in quotes.
That's fine. The W was just as good as anything I said. Go Pack, go.
Football season's making me sad already. Anyway, time to talk Dynamite. You. Anyway.
Dude, I love the video package for Moxley. That was awesome.
I know.
AEW has stepped up their production. That felt like a WWE video package.
Yeah, that was really, really good. We're starting to get some clarity, at least a little bit, with this new look Blackpool Combat Club of sorts. That's just the name I'm going to go with right now. But bringing Pac into the fold is a great touch. Absolutely love that Marina Shafir is in it, because we've been saying for a little while now that, I mean, there's plenty of women on the roster that would fit in with that group. I think that our first thought was Serena Deeb, but Marina Shafir is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I think Serena Deeb's a little bit too established to do that. Like, she's kind of doing her thing. Shafir wasn't doing anything. So
yeah,
this is good. Yeah, I mean, they could.
This better not be a thing, or if he's just being a troll, I can't tell. That's not like actually a thing.
They could go Retribution. They could go Street Trash. Whatever. There's a bunch of names out there right now. So, I don't. If Retribution's the name, it's kind of funny. But yeah, no, I am thoroughly invested in this Jon Moxley character, because I mean, just the emotionlessness that he has is giving off serial killer vibes, and I love it.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like, this is like, there's always been hints of this in not just a Jon Moxley, but a Dean Ambrose character as well over the years. But this time, it's just significantly more amplified right now, and especially based on how he turned on Bryan Danielson and what he has done to get into the head of Darby Allin, of saying you're not ready for the world title, and seems like we're setting up a little mini program there, which again, great for Darby, just because especially without Sting and not being in the tag team division, he needs a good singles feud. Doesn't even necessarily need to be for a title right now, and this is the best way to kind of remind everybody who the hell Darby Allin is.
Yeah, he's just kind of floating right now, and I think this would be very good for him. A very high-profile feud with, to be honest, kind of Mr. AEW at this point. It'd be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun. But yeah, this character, man, like, this has the potential to be one of the best characters in wrestling right now. So I'm pretty pumped for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already looking ahead, and I already want to see this Moxley against Swerve.
In due time, yes. In due time. Not yet.
I know. Remember when people used to think Sammy Guevara was Mr. AEW?
No.
No. And now making his return to Dynamite for the first time in a while, taking on good old Rick O'Shea, who returns to his home state of Kentucky. What are you thinking so far about Ricochet and AEW?
Kind of what I thought it would be. He fits in to the company, but did I have like the expectation that he was going to go after the world champion and be in that scene anytime soon? No, but this is kind of what I thought was going to happen, right? He's a great addition to the roster, and that's good. That's good. But do I have like super high, like, this is it, this is going to be the Ricochet push we all wanted? Not really. He's going to put on really good matches, and that's what I want to see, is him put on really good matches and him actually be used. So yeah, I'm good with this for right now. Is
it too soon for the Ospreay match?
No, I mean, do it, right? Like, just do it. Why not? Again, what is your ceiling right now for Ricochet? Why not just do the match now? I mean, they're both healthy at this time. Yeah. Ricochet can have a great match with anybody anyway. It's freaking Will Ospreay. He can have a great match with anybody. Do it now. Like, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't do it now. Like, what are you saving it for?
Yeah. No, I get that. I think, I don't know. It just seemed like a very telegraphed move of like, okay, oh, Ricochet's AEW, like that's the first match that people immediately think of. And it's not that I don't want to see it or anything like that. It's just kind of like, okay, surprise, surprise. Like, give me a little bit of a slow burn. Give me some anticipation. Give me a little, dancing around each other. We don't necessarily have to get them in it right away. I think that, at least for me anyway, that's something that I really want to see more of in wrestling is just tease it all you want. Look at how long it took for us to get Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. And they did a great job of keeping them away from each other, keeping them both white hot enough that way when they did eventually have that clash, and I know there were things kind of going on with both of them as far as their health and things like that going into that match at WrestleMania. But, it took us almost a year to get that match. Like, I don't see why you can't do the same thing with Ospreay and Ricochet. That's just me.
Again, I don't think you need to build much of a story for it. I just, you said dance around it. Like, this is the match people want to see. Let me see it. Like, they can have a best of 7, and I'm sure everybody would be perfectly fine with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they could.
The last best of 7 that I got invested in resulted in the bar.
Okay, would you not take Ospreay and Ricochet in a tag team? And the bar was really good.
You ask me. I'm not saying that they're not. Damn it! I wanted that 7th match. I wanted Cesaro to get his WWE title shot.
Go back and watch the bar versus the Usos. That whole feud. Go back, watch the bar and the New Day. That was really good tag team wrestling. I miss the bar. I miss the bar. Okay. Do we want to talk about?
Well, you don't have to miss the bar. You don't have to miss the bar because we're the bar.
Apparently not.
You hear that, Kyle?
Should we talk about the announcement for Grand Slam?
Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness. If Danielson is healthy, not surprised that we're getting this match. Not surprised.
Are we getting this match?
I think that we are.
I don't like the whole only if doctors clear Bryan.
Well, there is that whole, bag over the head and attempted murder thing that happened. Like,
in 2 weeks, he'll be fine.
You saw how long that bag was over his head. Like, are you a doctor?
I don't think no, I just play one on TV. I don't think they would announce it if they weren't going to do it. Right. So I would say
especially a match like this, essentially this match is what, 20 plus years in the making at this point.
But my only thing is they're doing it on free TV.
Is this
this is a bait and switch?
No.
Well, I feel like you could get a lot of people paying a lot of money on pay-per-view for this match.
Answer me this this is just like purely because I don't know the answer to this. Is this year's Grand Slam, is that Arthur Ashe, or is this Tacoma Dome, or is that Wrestle Dynasty?
So this looks like it's Arthur Ashe.
Okay. And it's funny that you bring up this point because I was thinking about this today, and I don't know why this popped in my head as I was driving back from the gym. But like looking at all of the money, and this is across both companies right now, these major TV deals that, I find nothing wrong with the fact that that they're putting on these pay-per-view quality type matches on free TV, because yes, you could get customers and you could get wrestling fans to pay for this on pay-per-view, but it seems like we're getting closer and closer to Warner Brothers Discovery new television contract that's going to be significantly more than what they're getting previously. You can start to build some matches to feel like they are pay-per-view quality on TV. I mean, look at Ospreay MJF, 59 minutes and 58 seconds. Like, I want to see more of that on TV. Not every, TV can feel like a pay-per-view with the right circumstance. I think that this is the right circumstance, especially because with Bryan Danielson, we don't know how much time we have left. We just don't know the answer to that. So if this is if this is a chance to get it and it's on free TV just to ensure that we get this match before Bryan Danielson probably loses the world title to Jon Moxley, I couldn't care less, I should say, if it's on Dynamite, especially because it's a Grand Slam. It's a show that is televised to be kind of a marquee television special. So I'm totally good with it.
All right. So,
but to answer Kyle's question, I don't know. Check the rankings. Oh, hey,
counterpunch.
Sure.
Why then wouldn't you save this for a pay-per-view and then have Moxley do the turn then? Because if you want this, like you said, this is kind of 20 years in the making. Again, fine, it's on free TV, and you want to show that story with Moxley, you could have done this match on pay-per-view. It would have had all the emotion that the Jack Perry match didn't have, and then have Moxley turn on him.
Fair. Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good counter. I won't say that it's not.
I mean, that's
I don't know why they
looking at it, like knowing that, hey, we could potentially, like, if AEW was looking at it and going, okay, we could get this match. Me, trying to make money, I would have done this on the pay-per-view and then done the Moxley turn. Hindsight's 2020, obviously, but
sure.
Now looking at it, I would have been like, shit, I should have saved this. I would have done that in Seattle. Again, have all the emotion of having Danielson and McGuinness in Seattle, and then Moxley turns on him. Dude, it would have been nuclear. But and they could have main evented, and that could have been your lasting image of the show.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe it's the need to, again, continue to keep Jack Perry hot, keep this scapegoat character.
Sure.
I
don't know.
I don't know. I don't have the pencil.
Yeah, that's just me booking. I trying to make money. Like, I think McGuinness and Danielson is a much bigger money match than Jack Perry. Like, you could have done Jack Perry and Danielson on Dynamite. That would have been fine.
Sure.
So,
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's why I don't book.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it's, and let's see, and Kyle says maybe it's the surgery scheduled. He does need it. That's another good point as well. Like I said, and especially like this is essentially it's a stadium show. So yes, it's a Dynamite, but it's a stadium show. So that's why it's, again, just I'm just not bothered by it.
Are you worried about them selling it out? Because last night did not look good.
Last night was bad. That's make no bones about that. But not in particular, just because generally these
they do pretty well.
These television specials they do relatively well. So,
and they're giving it 2-week build.
Yeah.
So, well, again, if the doctors clear him, like, I don't like that caveat. Something in me is like, don't do that to me. But hopefully I'm wrong. But
yeah, but I mean, if this caveat builds to you getting this match at Wrestle Dynasty, then it would have been worth it in the end, right?
I would have still done the Moxley turn. Like a couple more weeks of him being, this kind of weird, what is he talking about kind of thing, kind of still floating around. But again, talking about the slow burn. Yeah. Like, you want to slow burn Ospreay and Ricochet for what? But like, this is your main event feud. So why not slow burn it a little bit more, considering all the history now that Moxley and Danielson have, than to turn Moxley in 2 weeks.
I think that this one is different because, again, the slow burn is because Ospreay and Ricochet tore it up in the Indies. We knew what we were getting here. With Moxley, I don't know. I personally, I'm not speaking for anybody else, I personally couldn't have done much more than another week or two of just the quite frankly, just weird shit, because none of it made sense whatsoever. It just came off as odd to me that it's just kind of like, okay, you're back, great, good to see you. Like, the hell's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? Like, it just, I don't know. There was just something about the presentation of this particular character of Jon Moxley that was just like, okay, this one I kind of need to see where you're going sooner than later with this one. That's just me.
We're all allowed to have our opinions, and I respect yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, no, Hopefully the match happens. Again, I've been watching wrestling for 25 years at this point, so something in my gut is like, why would they put that caveat on there if they're gonna?
Yeah.
Or is this going to be some kind of weird, not full match? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm starting to hear children in the background. So as we kind of take this towards the end here, no, you're good.
They're very excited for this match.
Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher have qualified new number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Don Callis kind of manipulating Ospreay into, hey, you owe me one. Help Kyle out tonight to get this W here. And they're going to be competing for the tag team titles. Your thoughts?
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
I really enjoyed that theme song. I miss that theme song. Yeah.
No, I know. I miss him too.
Yeah. Mark Davis, where you at?
Well, hopefully the surgery goes well and they can, or went well, and the rehab's going well, and they can, like, that would be awesome to have that group again. I mean, it really would. But
because we're slowly, we're starting to see the glimpses of Kyle Fletcher starting to become too big for Don Callis. We're in, because I've already said it. Kyle Fletcher's future AEW World Champion right there. I mean, he's up the in-ring game. He's gotten himself in spectacular shape compared to the beginning of this year. It's really not hard to enjoy what he's doing right now. And I think it could be fun to see this kind of these mind games with Callis as far as what he's impacting on Ospreay, how Fletcher reacts to these, and what side he's going to take on it. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, the story is being told, so I'm here for that.
Yeah, big facts. Anything else?
I don't think so. NXT. Do you have any waning thoughts from NXT? Hammerstone getting squashed by Obafemi is crazy.
Yeah, but it's also Obafemi.
Absolutely crazy.
That's just
in two different ways too. Like, holy crap, Hammerstone just got squashed, and holy crap, Obafemi. Like, it was almost too crazy, but also enough to make me go, Obafemi's unstoppable. And I loved it. Like, I loved it and I hated it at the same time. I don't know. They got me. But and then Julia and Roxanne, I cannot wait.
It's gonna be so good.
Holy shit, I cannot wait.
It's a good thing that we're working on our year-end awards, because that's another match of the year contender that we're gonna be looking at here between the two of them. It's
for that match.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Well, Podcast Dad, we have survived another week. It is great to see you as always.
I have to see you again in a couple hours, so we haven't survived yet.
Okay, well, we survived our show this week, all right? And I guess I got to find a co-host for Monday, but I got some calls in, so what's your way? Yeah,
unfortunately you do. I apologize about that. The work retreat, I'm going to be quiet here because I don't want to.
No. This is not the forum to do that. This is not the forum to do that. But
Kyle, I right there to you.
I've got I think I got something lined up as far as what I might be able to do for Monday. So don't you worry about me. But thank you all for joining us tonight. Again, if you could follow us at Junkies Pod on X, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please do us a favor. There's 124 people watching this stream right now. If everybody went and told at least one person, or subscribed if they're not already, this puts us that much closer to our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We've got a couple of great shows lined up for next week. PWI Editor-in-Chief Kevin McElvaney will be joining us on Tuesday to talk about the PWI 500. Next Thursday, Connor Hopkins returns to the show. He's been talking a lot of shit on social media about a lot of things, and we want to hear all about it. So, make sure you like, share, subscribe, be nice to each other, enjoy wrestling. Remember, Legends of the Low Country, Coastal Empire Wrestling, streaming live now on YouTube. After the Empire will be coming soon. Hakeem, if you're out there watching, he's not in the comments, but I'm just assuming that he's watching. Like, floor is yours. Tell us what happened. We've seen the poster. We've seen the poster for next month. We know that you didn't walk out with the title. Like, it's okay. It's all right.
Come on.
Got a little ahead of yourself. That's
and
then shout out to Violence and Suffering Wrestling. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight as well, and definitely have to have y'all on the show soon as well. yeah, that's I think it's gonna do it for us. Remember, use promo code WJP2024 for 25% off site wide Gorilla Press Apparel. .bigcartel.com. Make sure you support our merch store as well. Follow the Main Event Wrestling Network. I think that is going to do it for us tonight. Again, enjoy wrestling, have fun. Let's enjoy life. Yeah. And remember, OTM 8/7 Central, Mr. Cincinnati will be on there. We'll be streaming on our YouTube channel, on X, Facebook, all that good stuff as well. Wrestling Spotlight will be joining Gerald Bentley tonight. That'll be airing later on this weekend. Download the True TV Plus app to check out that episode, as well as our archives. If you like to watch TV the old-fashioned way on an app and have specific time slots for when things happen. So
if you like to watch TV the old-fashioned way on an app. That didn't make any sense. Love you guys.
For the podcast that Mr. Cincinnati has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll see you guys on Monday.